Welcome Division 2 agents, Skill is here, and for today's video we got the best top 3 builds I recommend and use for Retaliation. But before we hop right into the video, make sure y'all smack that like button and subscribe. So for our first build, we are running the GR9 as our primary weapon, and we have the damage to target out of cover and damage to armor for our attributes with the talent frenzy, and these are the mods for our gun. And as of our secondary, we are running the stack broker. Attributes on this doesn't really matter. The most important thing here is the talent called back and forth, which we will use to sack up our striker gears. And for our pistol, obviously we have the quick step. So for our gears, we are running the Coyote's mask because of the talent pack instincts that gives us bonuses of crit hit chance and crit hit damage. And the attributes on our mask is double crit with a crit hit chance for the mod. And for our backpack, we have the Striker's backpack with the attribute of double crit. And the gloves we have on is the Striker's gloves with the attribute of critical hit chance. And now that we have two pieces of striker gear equipped, we now get plus 15% weapon handling. And the chest piece we are running is the striker's chest piece with double crit chance. And now that we have three pieces of strikers equipped, we now get an additional plus 15% rate of fire. Next up is our holster, which is the salvo from the unit alloys. This holster gives us plus 5% rate of fire, and the attributes that we are running on the holster is rate of fire and critical hit chance. And lastly, our striker's knee pads with the attribute of critical hit chance. And now that we have 4 pieces of striker's gear equipped, we now get the striker's gamble. And what the striker's gamble does is it increases the total of our weapon damage by 0.65%, stacking up to 100 times. And this right here is the signature weapon we are running, which is the gunner, and also this is our global modifier, which really just depends on what you are comfortable with. Now I'm gonna show you how the build does against the kill squad. And just like that, this build easily defeats the kill squad. And now let's proceed to our second build. So for our second build, the primary we are running is the LMG blue screen with the damage target out of cover and damage to armor as the attributes. And the talent for the blue screen is called Disruptor Rounds, and this is what the talent does right here. And the secondary we are running is the lefty with the talent called Perfect Sledgehammer. And same as the last build, attributes doesn't matter on this one. And what Perfect Sledgehammer does is dealing damage with a grenade, applies a mark on target, and the targets with mark will take 20% more damage and minus 30% movement speed. And of course our pistol is quick step. Now for our gears, we are running the tipping skills mask with the attribute of critical hit chance as well as the mod. And for our backpack, we are also running the tipping skills backpack with the attribute of critical hit chance and the mod of critical hit chance as well. And now that we have two pieces of tipping skills gear equipped, we now get plus 30% magazine size. Next up is our gloves, which is the overdogs with the attributes of double crit and the talent weakest link. And what the talent does is it amplifies weapon damage by 30% to the lowest ranking enemies currently in combat. And the chess piece for this build is the equalizer with the double crit attribute and the crit hit chance as the mod. And for the talent on this chest piece is the perfect obliterate, which increases our critical hits weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 24 times. Next is the holster, which is the tipping skills holster with the attribute of critical hit chance. And now that we have 3 pieces of tipping skills gear equipped, we now get plus 30% LMG damage. Lastly is our knee pads, which is also tipping skills with the attribute of critical hit chance. And now that we have 4 pieces of the tipping skills gear equipped, we now get the throttle control, and what that does is shooting builds stacks to a max of 50. Either you hit an NPC or not, and each stacks provides plus 0.5% weapon handling and plus 4% critical hit damage. And here is our signature weapon, which is the survivalist, and we still have the same modifier as the last build. And here's how the build does against the kill squad. As you can see, this build does not disappoint against the kill squad, just like our last build, but we still have our third build, so let's hop right into that. With our third and last build, we have the Kadoshis as our primary, which is only obtainable on the season pass for now, and the attribute we have on it is the health damage and the damage to target out of cover. And the talent on the Kadoshis gives us a repair for ourselves and allies for 3% of the critical hits dealt damage on the NPC. As for the secondary of this build, you can equip whatever secondary you want, and of course the pistol is gonna be quick step. Now let's proceed to our gears. Now our mask is the Coyote's mask, which we have a double crit attribute and the critical hit chance as the mod with the Pack Instincts talent that gives us bonuses of our crit hit chance and crit damage. And now for our backpack, we are running the Striker's backpack with the crit hit damage as the attribute and crit hit chance as the mod. And for our gloves, we are also running the Striker's gloves with crit chance as attribute. And now that we have 2 pieces of Striker's gear equipped, we now get plus 15% weapon handling. With our chest piece, we have the Grupo Sombra, which gives us plus 13% critical hit damage, and the attributes we have on it is double crit with the crit hit damage mod, and the talent on it is obliterate, where critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 20 times. And the holster on this build is the Striker's holster with the critical hit chance. And now that we have 3 pieces of Striker's gear equipped, we now get plus 15% rate of fire. Lastly, the Striker's knee pads with a critical hit chance. And now that we have 4 pieces of Striker's gears equipped, we now get Striker's Gamble, where weapon hits increase total weapon damage by 0.65%, stacking up to 100 times. And here is the global modifier for our build and the signature weapon, which is the Gunner. And here's how our build does against the kill squad.
Hostile kill squad nearby. Stay alert.
As y'all saw, we just defeated the kill squad easily, just like the past two builds I just showed y'all. If you like more of this content, make sure you like and subscribe.